Hello, scale modelers and anybody who happens to be building the Eaglemoss Back to the Future DeLorean. Alrighty, so this particular video is the second look at the suspension mod or shock mod I am doing for this DeLorean. And most of these scale bolts and nuts are secured in place. The only ones that I have not completely secured in place are the ones for the top and bottom, or the upper and lower control arm on the outside where the steering knuckle is. So sometimes they do come loose, and I do have to go through and tighten them back up. But the main reason why I have not secured these ones in place yet is because I told you I was going to make up a list of everything that I've used in order to make this happen, and that includes getting specs still. So if I secure these in, I won't be able to get the spring out, or even be able to measure any of this stuff. So there's that. And if you notice, I have started to paint. Fortunately, at some point, this washer that I have down in here is scraping away the paint down below, and the spring is even scraping the paint off the top of the washer. So at some point, I'm probably going to have to secure this washer in place, so that way it's not moving back and forth over this. And if you happen to notice, I ground down that extra piece of metal right up on the back side of that steering knuckle. And I have made sure that the hole is large enough for the bolts. Although in this case, I will have to use a threaded rod with some of the nuts and make it look like it's a bolt. Because these 2mm bolts right here, even though they're 15 millimeters long, it's still not long enough. So yeah, so I have to do that. Good thing I already had threaded rod and stuff to be able to do that. And I do have to go over and do some repaint work. So if these nuts are not secured tight enough down in place, the shock actually comes down a bit too far, and that center shaft comes down, and I have to like pop it back in place. But once they're all secured in, fastened down for good, that won't happen. So yeah, I am planning on using like a bolt to keep the wheel on. I have found a place to get some really teeny tiny bearings, so that way the wheel will keep on spinning even no matter how tight I have that. And I don't know if you can tell, but I have some little rubber washers on there, right up at the top, right up at the bottom. I even have them underneath the bolt heads, so that way this thing will flex properly when it's being moved. And yeah, you can hear a little bit of play because those aren't completely tightened down at the moment. But this is secured in place, so that's not coming out right now. And yeah, like I said, I do still have a little bit of paint work to do. Of course, I will probably take care of that after I get the work done on to permanently attach the wheel onto this. So, yep. And you can definitely see that nothing's coming up. And I have to put more coats of paint on there. Obviously, I left the upper shaft for the shock unpainted because that's how a regular shock would look. So, alright, so that's where I am so far with the suspension mod so far. It's working really, really good. So, once I can get all the measurements and all the parts and whatever that I used to actually create this, I will definitely post it in a video for you guys. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't want to tighten. Okay. And I will also include the websites where I got those parts from. So, another step forward in a mod for the DeLorean. So, until the next video for this particular front shock mod, thanks for watching Brian's Builds.